In America, we didn't invent the car, but we definitely popularized it. From the refinement of mass production to the interstate highway system, there's perhaps no more accurate symbol for the American ideal of freedom than a car on the open road. Automobiles are integral to the lives of most Americans. We have approximately 8 of them for every 10 people, which is the highest rate in the world among countries with more than a few 100,000 citizens. According to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, New York City is the only area in the United States in which fewer than half of households own a car. Cars allowed Americans to move to suburbs and commute more easily to cities. The interstate highway system connected previously disparate regions, facilitating travel, transit, and commerce. By the 60s, the car had become a mainstay in American life and an emblem of personal and cultural identity. This is reflected in the nostalgia of films like American Graffiti. And today, over 90% of us get to and from work in privately owned vehicles. For Americans, the car transcends mere modes of transportation into a way of life. But rarely do we consider the concessions we make every day to the automobile. In the United States, our entire civilization is built around the car. Even though they're big and bulky and require major infrastructure investments, there are few places cars can't go. Even in the most dense downtowns, cars take precedence over pedestrian traffic. When they're not in use, our cars require immense space for storage. Estimates for the number of parking spaces per vehicle range from 3 to 8, meaning that at all times, at least 2/3 of our parking spaces are empty. For storage alone, cars demand a wildly inefficient use of space, not to mention the network of roads on which they run. Automobiles are also incredibly dangerous. Despite a downward trend in traffic fatalities, in 2016, 37,000 people died on American roads. Since the end of World War II in 1945, at least 30,000 people have died in traffic accidents each year, totaling nearly 3 million Americans. So, why do we concede to the dangers of driving if our cars are actually just death machines? Part of this is likely a personal and cultural identity that connects Americans to their cars. Another is the illusion of control. Drivers tend to believe in and overestimate their own ability to avoid collisions. There's a saying that it takes 2 bad drivers to have an accident, but 500 people die every year in parking lots. Many of them aren't in the driver's seat. A common sentiment against air travel is putting one's life in another's hands. But compared to virtually all drivers on the road, a pilot's hands are far more capable and experienced, and air traffic is better regulated and maintained to avoid major accidents. To put it another way, if 3 million Americans had died in plane crashes since 1945, flying would be illegal. Yet we inexplicably choose to make longer, more dangerous commutes in favor of living further away from each other. Humans are inherently social creatures, which means that we benefit from the very communities that suburban life inhibits. Furthermore, those living in suburban communities face higher rates of obesity and cardiovascular disease, while long commutes are linked with high blood pressure. The average American spends over 50 minutes each day commuting, and more remote suburban areas can face a commute time more than double that. Still, for many Americans, there is no escaping the automobile. About 3/4 of us live in suburban or rural areas, so our lives are intertwined with cars. And although college-educated millennials are moving to cities, the suburbs are still growing faster. 9 of the 10 fastest-growing cities in the US are at least half suburban. And for most in the suburbs, cars are difficult, if not impossible, to live without. Our full embrace of the automobile has contributed to lower-quality public transportation systems and urban neglect. Infrastructure resources are often prioritized for roads over other forms of transportation. This can artificially lower the cost of driving and raise the cost of public transit. Outside of urban areas, those without access to cars are effectively cut off from major segments of society. This tends to affect children, the elderly, and the impoverished most of all. In the United States, one's ability to drive a car and their willingness to assume its risks make an immense contribution to their economic success or failure. Perhaps there is no better symbol for the American ideal of freedom than a car on the open road. We have freedom if we can afford it, if we're gifted with the ability to control it, or if we happen to live in the right neighborhood. For those on the margins of society, freedom is an empty promise. We claim that freedom allows them to work hard and get ahead, but we often fail to address many of the hurdles to their social and economic success. But it doesn't have to be this way. There's obviously no simple, blanket solution that will benefit a nation as large and diverse as the United States, but there are steps we can take. Higher safety standards in car design have helped contribute to the overall decline in traffic fatalities. Improved intersection design, such as that of the diverging diamond, can improve traffic flow while reducing the opportunity for accidents. For some, moving to urban areas can reduce or even eliminate the need for regular car usage. For those who still want a lawn and a driveway, better bus and sidewalk systems can facilitate commutes on existing road networks. Buses are safer than cars and allow those without the skills or means to drive access to many of the benefits. Roads, particularly in residential areas, can be designed to be less hostile to pedestrians and cyclists. For example, narrow roads can be used to improve the balance between pedestrians, cyclists, and cars, while limiting drivers to lower speeds and keeping them alert. We can also take steps to highlight the true cost of driving. The costs of road construction and maintenance are often overlooked, and if presented more transparently, may cause some drivers to reconsider the true cost of driving. Parking fees and bridge tolls effectively pass on this cost to those who are actively using the infrastructure, helping to address the free rider problem on the American road. While urban communities can allocate resources more efficiently, many Americans remained entrenched in the suburbs. For those unwilling or unable to abandon the car, the set of proposals and efforts by Elon Musk may bring some urban benefits to the suburbs. His company Tesla is working on the technology to create a network of self-driving cars. This will cut down on the wasted time a car spends parked, reduce the fixed cost per ride, and eliminate accidents caused by human error. Another Musk project, the Boring Company, aims to create high-speed underground tunnels that facilitate both car and pedestrian traffic. This has the potential to reduce above-ground congestion and improve energy efficiency. These solutions also address our dependence on a limited supply of fossil fuels and the environmental, pollution, and health concerns of burning them. But our solutions don't need to be on such a grand scale as Elon Musk's. The encouragement of biking can reduce the number of cars on the road and improve both space efficiency and health. A simple coat of paint can give cyclists and pedestrians the right of way, and new roads can be designed to better consider other forms of traffic. No matter how many clever solutions we come up with, the car is likely to remain deeply ingrained in American life and culture. Automobiles literally shape our entire society in ways both good and bad. It's time that we rethink how to make the best use of this powerful tool. Hey everyone, if you're interested in some of the other transportation tools that we have at our disposal, check out my videos on passenger trains and airports. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up down below or tell me about it in the comment section. If you want to see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.